then lied. My parents kicked me out for getting a job and not being able to babysit anymore, then lied to the whole family when asked about it. So I went nuclear and exposed them, and now they're trying to force me back because their new babysitter quit. 2 months after I turned 17, I got my first job. But when I told my parents about it, their literal first words were, "Who's going to babysit our kids?" I should have been shocked, but because I knew my parents, I wasn't. So I replied, "Well, who's going to pay for my college tuition?" I expected that to stump them. You see, they had repeatedly told me in the past if I wanted to go to college, I needed to pay for it myself. But instead of conceding, they started laughing like my response was the funniest thing in the world. You're a woman, and women should be grateful to take care of kids, whether it's free or paid. Of course, in my case, it was free. My dad then chimed in with some words of wisdom. "You don't just get to be selfish and abandon the family, Julia. Do you know how much a babysitter for 4 kids costs these days?" I tried to compromise, to tell them that some of the money I made from work could go to them and the kids, but they didn't care. And to them, because I wasn't spending my life taking care of their kids, I deserved to be kicked out. They told me to pack my bags and leave. I just rolled my eyes in response. I ran upstairs, but as I did, for the first time in a very long time, I let myself feel it, the heartbreak, the betrayal, and most of all, the grief of knowing I'll never know a life where my parents love me. I didn't even bother wiping the tears away, just focused on stuffing as many clothes into a backpack as possible. After 10 minutes, they yelled at me to hurry up, and that's when we left for my cousins. On the way there, my parents kept trying to change my mind. My dad reminded me of how much my siblings loved me, or more specifically, how no one else could get them to stop crying like I can. Their manipulation wasn't even that good, but for some reason, I still felt bad. I started questioning if I really was selfish. My mom even started crying, not because she'd miss me, but because now they had to pay for a babysitter. So when we arrived at my cousin Megan's and they just drove off without saying goodbye, I felt even more guilt, especially when she opened the door, because her face immediately lit up with joy, and she gave me the first genuine smile I'd seen in a long time. Kindness felt so unfamiliar to me that as soon as we got inside, I immediately broke down in tears. Her face fell and she tried to console me. "Well, kinda. My love, why don't you just help your parents out a little?" Help? I've cut off friends, let my grades drop, sacrificed everything to constantly take care of their kids. I didn't mean to shout, but I couldn't help the anger inside me. I turned to face her with disgust at her suggestion, but that's when I saw a look of genuine shock on her face. "Your parents told me you were acting entitled and just didn't want to help out when you had nothing to do all day." I immediately started crying again, but this time it was in her arms. I told her the whole truth, why I ended up at her place, all while she held me and told me I would be safe under her roof. Surprisingly, she seemed anything but angry, but I would soon find out she was more than just angry. I ended up crying myself to sleep that afternoon. I didn't wake up until a few hours later when I heard Megan yelling. It was in the room next door. When I heard the anger in her voice, I sat up immediately. She was usually a very shy, timid person, so hearing her like this was super unusual. It was obvious that she was talking to my parents. I couldn't make out what she was saying, but I could tell she was laying it on them. I remember feeling a genuine smile creep onto my face. It was the first time someone had stood up for me. When I heard her hang up, I lay back down and pretended to still be asleep.